It is the final full day of our cruise and we are out and about early on an adventure. We've just got off of a bus. This is our only paid excursion of the entire trip because I'll show you when we get back to the ship later. The Zeebrugge cruise terminal is basically just a pier in the middle of a port, and even to get into the terminal without an excursion you have to get a shuttle bus, and then I think it's a shuttle bus to the train station and then a train, and it's a whole load of faff. Bottom line, we got a bus in here. It's taken us about 20 minutes and we've just been dropped off just on the outskirts of Bruges. So apparently if we cross this red bridge and wander through the park, we will end up in the city centre. Anna's saying look at snowdrops. I think that's flowers. Yeah, I know vaguely where we are. We've been to Bruges a few times before, and we're just kind of next to the train station, which is where we've stayed before. So I do know how to get into the city centre from here. It is through this park. It's quite a walk, but Anna's got her wheels with her. So we'll go and explore. Adventure time. The first time we came, or at least the first time we came with Andy, he just saw the church tower on the horizon, which is just up there, and just made a beeline for it. We didn't even navigate. We just straight there. So we're operating a similar navigation system today. We're just going to aim for the church, knowing that that will get us roughly into the middle of the city where we want to be. As far as plans for the day go, and we have a couple of things we want to do. There is a very cool independent Lego store around about the area that we want to check out that has a Lego model of the Bruges Belfry in, so would quite like to go and have a look at that. There's also the restaurants in the market square where Anna wants to have some Flemish stew that she had last time she was here, and it was the best stew she's ever had, which I take personal offence to, and I'd quite like to have some mussels from the same place. And then we might check out the chip museum, but we are operating on a, we'll see. Yeah, I guess so. We get back to following the people, I guess. Yeah, we are operating on a let's see how our bodies hold up kind of situation. It's Anna's first big day out on the wheels, rather than on her wheelchair or a scooter, and my heel is still ruined. My back has now joined it. We're officially out until 3:45. We've got to be back at the coach. I think at the moment there's a 50-50 chance that at some point we tap out and just get a taxi back once we've done our essential bits, but we'll see how we get on as the day goes on. It is a very pretty park though. I do remember walking through this before, and it is very scenic. I mean, we literally have, there's a picture of me and Andy on a wall over there that you've got. So we literally have been through this park together before. Bruges horses. Look at this guy, he's trotting like he means it. That is quite the walk. We're following them. There's a lot more construction going on here than there was last time we were here. Was it pre-COVID the last time we came here? So you're looking like 6 or 7 years. But yeah, a lot more construction. There's some rather large swans over here. Swans and geese. Ha-ha! Hello, bird creatures. How are you doing? Good morning to you. I'm going to die. Let's get away from that. We've found the horse car park, or horse park, because they're not cars, I guess. He's having his breakfast. I can smell that he's done his toilet, and they're having a beverage. Lovely old horses. I just want to give this horse, because this is my favourite horse, I want to give him a carrot. We have an assortment of animals dressed peculiarly. Why do they never have English Springer Spaniels whenever the dog things happen? I would love that dog reading a book. If that was a Springer, I would absolutely buy that to represent Dave reading his book, which he loves to do when we're not around. We have another lovely horse, and Anna, being from Nottingham, is very interested in the lace, because this is the other lace place. Nottingham and Bruges, the two lace places. We've found water with a church the other side of it, so my plan to just beeline at the church. I'm listening, the bell, Anna can hear the bells. So we're going to have to go around a little bit. We're going under this arch and over that way. Oh, now I can hear all the bells from the belfry. I have just had an email from the guy who owns the Lego shop here saying he is happy for me to come and make the video there. So we are going to make a beeline there as well. Anna's waving me away. I don't know why. We're almost at the Lego shop, unfortunately. It is pouring down with rain now, which is not ideal. This is the one day we've been out and about where we can't just get back on the train when we're done and head back. So yeah, once we've done the Lego shop, we need to find somewhere dry to consume local beverages and snacks and items. I think we're in a part of the city I've never been to before. We've only ever been in the little old bit with the churches and stuff in the past, but this is a big open, I guess, market square. We've got a concert hall over there, and up in front of us is what looks like a high street, which I think is where this Lego shop that we're going to is. Well, Lego exploration complete. That shop was awesome. I don't post a lot of Lego content here because obviously it's all over on the Lego channel, but I think this one is relevant. If you remember a few years ago, in fact, we'll see it probably later in this video, but when we went to the Bells in Belgium with Andy, they were at the Belfry, which we're heading over towards now. They had a massive 60,000 piece version of the Belfry in there. So I'm popping a couple of pictures of that on screen now so you can see just how cool some of the stuff in that shop was. So if you want to see everything else that was in there, make sure you head over to Block Party and check out that video. But we are now wandering back into the old town bit where the Belfry is, where the market square is. We want to grab ourselves some delicious Belgian lunch, and potentially, depending on how much time we've got after we've done that, we might investigate the Frit Museum. We're now getting back into the part of Bruges that I remember and have been to before. One thing I don't remember, they now have a duck store here, similar to the one in Amsterdam. It's even got the same like font on the sign, so I wonder if it's the same people or if they're just completely ripping off the idea. But I was in Amsterdam the other day and couldn't find any ducks that we didn't already have. So I think we're officially done with ducks, but they are everywhere now. First time we went to Amsterdam, it was such a cool, unique thing. Now they're everywhere. And Anna's just pointing me into the window of this, where they've got a little something for the Trekkies. There he is. And there's a Stargate thing there. And I don't know who he is. But this guy's cool. This is the House of Charm. And it is. It's charming. Because Anna's got her walker and all the shops are quite small, somewhere's got to do better than that to convince us to go in today. We'll do a lot of window shopping. But to get us to actually cross the threshold, it needs to have like gold covered Lego attached to a PlayStation with chips all over it to make us want to go in.
Why do you think I'm always on to chips? Chips, chips, chips.
What was that anything to do? That was us in general. You wouldn't be interested in the Lego. She didn't even come in the Lego shop. What a street corner we've got here. A fries shop. And then a load of bears hanging off the side of a restaurant, maybe. And then we go down a lovely little cobbly side street. The cobbles look good. They're not ideal with this thing because they are wibbly wobbling Anna around, which she doesn't find amusing. This place, I assume, does grilled chicken. No, of course, it's a closed shop. We were caught out by this when we came to Bruges years ago because we travelled halfway across the town to try and find Andy some toast. And when we got there, the place didn't sell toast. So we're heading down onto the market square where we're going to grab some lunch. So I'm taking the moment to just fill up on beverage now so I don't have to pay for a beverage with my lunch. I like to save money. As you know, this whole cruise is sponsored by Holy. If you want to grab some Holy for yourself, the link to that is at the top of the description below. It is delicious. You know what flavour I'm drinking by now. It's the main one I brought with me. My delicious lime mint matcha. My bag just fell on the floor. And you should get some because it's really tasty. But yeah, we're just stopping for a Holy break before we get to the market square. And there we have it, the Belfry. Almost as impressive as the Lego version that I saw around the corner. And this is the market square where we came many years ago, sat over there, Andy ate fish fingers and listened to the bells donging from over here. So now we need to find somewhere on this square where we can sit again. Anna can have a Flemish stew and I can have delicious Belgian mussels, which are a delight. The dongers are donging again. I couldn't get my camera on in time. They did play a nice little song. It was good donging. Well, we're in one of the restaurants we were in when we came last year, but Anna's a coward, so because it's only 7 degrees outside, we're eating indoors. But it is nice. It's got a lovely little fire on the go, which is giving off some heat. But I'm a bit upset about the lobster tank behind me. I like eating lobster, but only lobster meat. I don't want one that was a real lobster. We also still have a nice view of the belfry out the window, so we're going to have a proper look at that once we've eaten. That is a large amount of mussels. That is a more human amount of stew. And we also have some frits, of course, because why wouldn't we have frits? I'm very happy. Dinner consumed. Next job is to head back to where it all began. The reason I now have a very expensive coffee machine is because when we came here like 7 years ago, I sampled proper European coffee for the first time. I say proper European coffee. I got one from Burger King. And off the back of that, brought an espresso machine, and it all escalated from there to my big fancy ninja thing that we've got now, where I'm grinding my own beans. So we're going back to that same Burger King. I'm going to have that same coffee from all those years ago, and it's probably going to be disgusting. But at the time, it was the best coffee I'd ever had. So
You wouldn't stop having.
yeah, I went every day we were here.
Would not stop saying.
So the Burger King's just over here. Let's see if that coffee still tastes good. Just hanging out with my friend Horse again. I should have brought him some of my mussels. I bet he'd have liked them. Well, it's pretty much doubled in price since the last time I had one. I remember them being like €1, $2.55. But I have got my cream and my sugar, which I'm not going to use. It's still a tiny little cup. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, it's good. I just like Burger King coffee. I'm not proud, but it is delicious. We're in the little gift shop next to the Belfry, because of course I had to buy a magnet. I also like these little houses that Anna has just got Andy a little statue of the Belfry to go on his little display of churches of the world, where I got him a La Sagrada Familia when I was in Barcelona. I think I got him a Liverpool Cathedral at one point. So he's got quite a few churches that he's starting to collect now. And in fact, I'm here waffling in a shop, and they are donging away out here the way they do. If I remember rightly from when we were here before, I think it's 47 bells in there. And in the summer, they do full bell concerts, which there is a video of on the channel from many, many years ago. If you want to experience a bell concert from the Belfry. I didn't expect to be in the Club Bruges club shop today, but they do have a 3D construction toy. Now, if that was the stadium, I would buy that. They do have the stadium as a 3D puzzle, but I want a buildable stadium. I do enjoy a random club shop in a city centre. We found a shop full of Kevin things. So we've got Asterix mugs and placemats and lunch boxes. There's Paddington stuff. Loads of Snoopy behind the counter. This is a very cool shop. We've definitely found the street with all the fun stuff on. I would like several items. One of the other churches we were dragged around last time we were here. The question now, as we walk past all these waffle places, is should I have a Belgian waffle whilst I'm in Belgium? I'm not really hungry after eating all of those mussels. But you're not in Belgium every day, are you? So I am kind of tempted. I could get a waffle on a stick, croissant meets waffle. And then we've got waffles over there as well. Well, that question was answered very easily by me going in to get one and realising they were €10 and promptly turning around and leaving. I'm sure it's delicious waffle, but no waffle can possibly be worth €10, surely. We definitely seem to have stumbled into Chocolate Street. We're kind of vaguely heading back towards the bus. We don't have to be back at the bus for an hour and a bit. So we're kind of wandering in the right direction. So we're never more than about 10 minutes away from it. And it just smells of chocolate down here. This is more like it, €4.50 from this one. So I've got my Belgian flag. Don't know why I need a fork. Quite hot, but delightful. Well, that was very tasty, although it was a 2 wet wipe situation. One that I tried to administer myself and managed to sort of get myself clean. And then Anna took over with a second one and gave me a full wipe down, including several areas of my coat, all around my mouth, my hands. I shouldn't have got one with chocolate sauce on, but it was very nice. We're now wandering back towards the park that we walked through this morning. Well, we're about 3 minutes away from where the bus dropped us off, which I assume is where we're being picked up from. We're about an hour early, but we'll just sit here and mooch about for a bit and head over probably in about half an hour. It's been a jolly splendid thing. I tell you one thing that has surprised me, having not done a cruise excursion before. Our all aboard time today is 4:30. It's about a 20-minute bus ride from here back to the cruise terminal. And we don't have to be back here until 3:45 for us to leave here at 4. So they've planned to leave here at 4 for an all aboard time of 4:30. So I assume they're expecting there to be very little in the way of queues to get back on the ship. And B, what if there's traffic? I mean, I know because it's an excursion, they have to wait for us. It's not like if we were out and about on our own excursions, are guaranteed to get back on the ship, so they will wait for us as an excursion. But if it were me organising it, and this probably is my over-planning for all scenarios autistic brain, but I'd have everyone back on the ship by 3 o'clock if it's all aboard at 4:30. But certainly if we were on our own, we'd be back at the ship, or certainly on our way back to the ship now. Yeah, as Anna's saying, we'd be back already. Well, based on the ship's official all aboard time, we made it on with 6 minutes to spare. I can confidently say I will never be that close to all aboard time getting on a cruise ship again. That did not sit well with the way my brain works. That being said, it's now 4:33 with an all aboard time of 4:30. There's still coach loads of people being let off and back onto the ship. The way this port works, the cruise terminal is over there, so when you come back in on an excursion, they hit you off your coach over there. You then have to go through security at the cruise terminal, get on one of these shuttles, and they bring you over here. And I mean, there's one unloading, there's one behind it unloading, there's another one coming in now. So I think there's been a bit of an organisation breakdown today. I mentioned it when we were still in Bruges, that it felt like they were cutting it fine, and they definitely are. And you can hear them panicking over the radio on security as we're coming through, but it's like, there's another bus coming through as well. We obviously didn't plan the times. We got back to our coach in Bruges at the time we were supposed to. There was nobody late. We left at the time we were supposed to leave. They just didn't plan to leave enough time, which is bananas. So I guess we're going to be leaving a little bit late because there's lots more people coming through yet. But I am now going to edit some content, edit my block party video from earlier today. Anna's probably going to have a little bit of a nap to recover from the day. And then I think our plan is head down to dinner, normal-ish time, like between 6:30 and 7:30 probably, have a relatively relaxed dinner, then come back and pack afterwards, leave all our stuff out and have minimal stuff to carry off ourselves in the morning, which seems like a very good plan. I do have a lot of Lego to pack, which it's going to be fine. So a number of hours later, Anna's refreshed with a nice big nap. It's just gone 8:30 and we've made it back down to the restaurant again. This is 7 nights in a row we've actually come to the restaurant and done it properly and never had to resort to the buffet. Aren't we good little boys and girls? And excitingly, they have two things I very much like the look of on the locally inspired stuff. So I will be having shrimp croquettes as my starter, and then a Flemish stew for my main, which Anna wasn't impressed with the Flemish stew we had at the tourist trap in Bruges. So either mine will also be awful. She's convinced she was served rabbit earlier, or she'll be jealous that mine looks better than the one she had actually in Bruges. But I think that's me sorted, easy peasy. I don't know if the camera's picking it up because it might just be our reflection, but we're sat right next to the window. We're quite close to sea level down on deck 6. I'm fascinated at how fast this ship is moving. It is giving it some to get back to Southampton for the morning. And Anna said she could see a lighthouse down that way. So I'll point you that way. Apparently we can't see a lighthouse now. One thing that is going to be a problem when we get home, I'm addicted to having a roll with my dinner again. When we came on our cruise last year, we went to Costco and bought a massive bag of dinner rolls. There are a load in our freezer, so I've already said to Anna, first thing when we get home tomorrow, defrosting myself some dinner rolls, because I'll be back on this for a few weeks now. I've got to have a dinner roll. I love them. So there's my shrimp croquettes to start. And Anna's soup of the day, which is...
Oh, it's not soup of the day, it's just tomato soup.
Oh, just tomato soup.
You have it every day.
Fair enough. Have you had the same flavour soup every day?
No.
Oh, okay. She does love a soup.
I didn't like it yesterday.
If I'm going to be having dinner rolls at home, maybe I need to make Anna a bowl of soup before her dinner every day, because I think she's had soup as a starter every single day we've been on this cruise. So there is my Flemish stew, complete with Flemish chips. And Anna has a fork that's in the way. Anna has chicken. Well, we're back in the room. It is 21:40, so we've got just over 2 hours to get this entire room packed and in the case, including several Lego sets. We've got the Black Pearl over there. We've got these sets all up here as well. It'll be fine. We don't have to put the big box in. So I reckon the Lego will take up less room than the box did on the way. I think it's going to be fine. Well, in order to really minimise the amount of stuff I have to carry off the ship myself tomorrow, I now need to remove my clothes and pack them. And then I'm going to have to put the suitcases out on the outside the door and hope nobody's walking past while I'm doing that naked or wearing just my coat, I guess. So I think that's probably a good spot to end the video. It'll also be the end of this little cruise mini series. We're not going to show you us getting off the ship at 8 a.m. in the morning and driving home, because that's really boring. But don't worry, this little spurt of content you've had over the last week or two isn't ending here. We've got more adventures planned in the very near future, in just a few days from when I'm recording this, and probably it's already happening by the time you're watching this video. We're up to Manchester. We've got 4 days in Manchester for a big Lego event, but we'll also do some travelly bits and bobs while we're up there as well. We've got a few bits planned, and we are counting down the days until we're off to Orlando as well, which we're doing in April. So that's on the horizon also. So lots of really cool travel content coming your way over the next few months. So make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. If you have enjoyed this video and this series, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Thank you very much to Holy for helping make all this possible by sponsoring the entire cruise for us. Check out their link at the top of the description below. And thank you very much for watching.